Okay, real talk. You just got your first salary, say 50,000 rupees a month, and your brain immediately goes to one of two places. Either you're thinking, finally, I can upgrade my phone, the 14 is so embarrassing at office parties. Or you're thinking, okay, 50,000 rupees, what do I do with this? And look, I don't want to be preachy. I genuinely don't. But what you do with that 50,000 rupees in your 20s, it will literally determine what your life looks like at 40. Not sort of determine it, not have a small influence. I mean, it will be the entire difference between two completely different lives. And I'm going to show you the math, the real math, not the fake save 100 rupees a month and retire a billionaire YouTube math. Actual numbers, actual India 2026 data. So stick with me here. I'm Rohan, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart, educated Indians are somehow going broke on good salaries. If you're someone who earns decent money but somehow reaches the end of the month, going, wait, where did it all go? Make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're doing something a little different. I'm going to walk you through two parallel lives, same starting salary, same city, same age, different choices. And by the end of this video, you're going to feel uncomfortable in the best possible way. Let's get into it. Here's the thing, nobody plans to be broke at 35. Nobody wakes up at 22 and says, you know what, I'm going to spend the next decade impressing people I don't even like with money I don't have. It happens slowly, and it starts with something that feels completely reasonable. Meet Aryan, 24 years old, freshly paced from a Tier 1 college, starting salary 65,000 rupees a month. That's actually a solid number. That puts him comfortably in the top 10% of earners in his age bracket in India. And in month 1, Aryan does something logical. He upgrades his phone. He's been using a beat-up Android for 3 years. He deserves a nice phone, right? He picks up an iPhone 15 for 79,900 rupees. On EMI, of course. Just 6,658 rupees a month for 12 months. Barely noticeable. Then his friends are doing a Bali trip he doesn't want to miss out, vacation loan 35,000 rupees, another 3,000 rupees a month. Then he needs a bike for the commute, loan 5,500 rupees a month. None of these decisions feel wrong in the moment. Each one is perfectly defensible. I work hard, I deserve this. It's just a small EMI. It's an investment in my social life. Here's what Aryan doesn't realize. He just handed 15,158 rupees of his 65,000 rupees salary to EMIs. Every single month. That's 23% of his income gone before he even opens the Zomato app. And he's not alone. A 2025 study by Perfios and PwC India, based on data from over 30 lakh consumers, found that the average Indian salaried professional is spending over 33% of their monthly income on loan EMIs alone, and 45% of middle-class families now spend over 40% of their income just servicing debt. The RBI has flagged this as a warning zone. Let me say that again. 40% of your salary paying for yesterday's lifestyle decisions before you eat, commute, or do anything else. Now you might be thinking, Rohan, come on, people need to live their lives. You can't just save everything. And you're right, I agree. But here's what most people don't realize about the show-off spending cycle. It's not really about the phone or the vacation or the bike. It's about something called social comparison theory, a concept from psychology. When we spend to impress others, our brain gets a dopamine hit. That post with the new phone, the Bali reel, the restaurant check-in, for a few hours it feels amazing. And then, nothing. The high disappears, and you need the next thing. Economists call it lifestyle inflation, and it is insidious because every time your salary goes up, your spending goes up to match it. You never actually get ahead. You just run faster on a more expensive treadmill. Aryan gets a 20% hike at 26. Does he start saving? No, he upgrades to a bigger flat. He buys a car. He goes from 65,000 to 78,000, and somehow his bank balance stays exactly the same.
Here's the number that genuinely shocked me when I was researching this video. India's household financial savings rate has dropped to just 5.3% of GDP, a 47-year low. Meanwhile, India's household debt to GDP has surged from 33% in 2020 to 48.6% in early 2025, one of the fastest increases in the entire world according to the RBI Financial Stability Report. We are saving less and borrowing more at record rates, while our Instagram feeds have never looked better. And the cherry on top, 70% of iPhones in India are bought on EMI. 80% of cars are financed through loans. 27% of vacations in India are now taken on credit. We're literally borrowing money to take pictures to post on the internet. I'm not judging, I'm just saying. Okay, same age, same city, same starting salary of 65,000 rupees. Meet Priya.
Priya also loves nice things. She's not some monk who never spends money. She goes out, she travels, she has a good time. But Priya does one thing differently. She decides at 24 that she is going to automate 15,000 rupees a month into an SIP before she does anything else. Not after expenses, before. The moment her salary hits, 15,000 rupees leaves automatically for investments. She never decides to invest, it just happens. The remaining 50,000 rupees, she lives on that. She has a budget, she is not miserable, she even manages a nice trip once a year, but she's not financing her identity on credit. Now here's the math, and I want you to actually sit with these numbers. Priya invests 15,000 rupees a month starting at 24 into an equity mutual fund SIP. Historically, the Nifty 50 has delivered around 12% CAGR over the long term. In fact, a recent analysis showed that a 10,000 rupees monthly SIP in the Nifty from 1995 to 2025 turned 37.2 lakh rupees in total investment into 3.38 crore rupees. That's roughly a 9 times return on your total invested amount. So Priya, investing 15,000 rupees a month at 12% CAGR, by age 30, 6 years in, her portfolio is approximately 14.6 lakh rupees. By age 35, 11 years in, approximately 35.5 lakh rupees. By age 40, 16 years in, approximately 80 lakh rupees. By age 45, 21 years in, 1.62 crore rupees. Total amount invested by age 45, 37.8 lakh rupees. Total portfolio value 1.62 crore rupees. She turned 37.8 lakh rupees into 1.62 crore rupees. And she didn't need to pick stocks. She didn't need to time the market. She just showed up every month with 15,000 rupees and didn't touch it. Now let's check in on Aryan at 45. Aryan spent his 20s and 30s upgrading phones, taking loan-funded holidays, paying EMIs on cars that depreciated 30% the moment he drove them out of the showroom. He eventually started an SIP at 35, the same 15,000 rupees a month, same 12% returns. By age 45, Aryan's portfolio, approximately 34 lakh rupees, on the same monthly investment. Priya, 1.62 crore rupees, Aryan, 34 lakh rupees. Same monthly amount, same returns, 11 years of difference. This is the compounding gap that nobody talks about. It's not about how much you invest, it's about when you start. Let me show you something I call the true cost calculation, because every rupee you spend on depreciating lifestyle purchases in your 20s has a hidden cost that almost nobody accounts for. Let's take Aryan's iPhone, 79,900 rupees. If that 79,900 rupees had gone into an equity mutual fund at age 24 and sat untouched until age 44, 20 years at 12% CAGR, that one phone becomes 8.6 lakh rupees. His Bali trip loan, 35,000 rupees. Same math, that trip at age 44 equals 3.77 lakh rupees. His car, let's say he put 2 lakh rupees down. Same period, that down payment equals 21.5 lakh rupees. The show-off tax on just those three decisions alone, over 33 lakh rupees by age 44, for things he doesn't even still own. Here's what most people don't realize. You're not just spending money, you're spending future money. Every lifestyle purchase today is a decision about what your 40-year-old self gets to have. Okay, I don't want this to be just doom and gloom, because here's what's actually incredible about 2026 in India. The generation coming up right now, they are getting it. Slowly but surely, they are getting it. Amphi data shows that SIP inflows in India hit 3.03 lakh crore rupees in 2025, the first time ever crossing 3 lakh crore rupees in a single year. Monthly SIP contributions touched a record 29,529 crore rupees in October 2025. Indians under 35 opened 40% of all new SIP accounts in 2025. Let me say that again. 40% of new SIPs were opened by people under 35 in a single year. Millennials and Gen Z together now control nearly 48% of all mutual fund assets. That's 75 lakh crore rupees worth of assets, with younger investors holding nearly half. So the awareness is growing. The tools are there. Grow, Zerodha, Kuvera, the information is available. YouTube honestly has probably done more for financial literacy in India than any textbook ever did. The problem isn't information anymore. The problem is social pressure. Because you know what nobody's posting on Instagram? Their SIP confirmation slip. Nobody's posting a screenshot of their growing mutual fund portfolio. Nobody's making reels about being debt-free. The boring, slow, powerful stuff, it's invisible on social media. But the iPhone, the trip, the car, that gets 200 likes. And your brain can't tell the difference between 200 Instagram likes and actual real financial progress. So, how do you actually change this? Not just intellectually, but in your actual behavior. I want to give you 3 mental shifts that honestly changed everything for me. Mental shift 1. Start saying, I can't afford that, instead of I'll put it on EMI. These are not the same thing. I'll put it on EMI is a reframe your brain uses to avoid feeling the pain of spending. When you say, I can't afford that, you are being accurate. If you need 12 months of EMIs to buy a phone, you cannot afford that phone. Rich people actually say, I can't afford that more often than broke people do. Not because they have less money, because they are honest with themselves about the real cost of things. Mental shift 2. Build your identity around your net worth, not your lifestyle. This sounds weird at first, but high net worth individuals in India think about money completely differently. They are not impressed by what you own, they are impressed by what you've built. If you met someone who said, I've invested for 8 years consistently and my portfolio is at 45 lakh rupees, that should impress you far more than someone with a new BMW and a flat they can barely afford. One of those people is building something, the other is performing something. Mental shift 3. Play the long game in a short game culture. Social media has collapsed our sense of time. Everything is instant. Instant gratification, instant content, instant dopamine. This is the worst possible environment for wealth building because wealth building is inherently slow. The Nifty has gone from roughly 1,000 points in 2000 to over 23,000 points by 2025. 23,000% in 25 years. But most people never captured that return because they couldn't wait. They panicked at every correction, they pulled money out for an EMI. Wealth rewards patience in a way that almost nothing else does. Okay, so if you're sitting here and you're 23, 24, 25, or even 28, 29, and you're thinking, Rohan, I want Priya's life, not Aryan's life, here's exactly what you do, step by step. Step 1. Do the EMI audit. Right now, today, open your bank app, add up every single EMI you are paying phone, car, personal loan, buy now, pay later, all of it. Write down the total number. Most people have never done this and they're genuinely shocked. If that number is more than 20% of your take home salary, you have a problem that needs to be fixed before you do anything else. Step 2. The 15-15 rule. Before you spend your salary on anything, set up an auto debit to move at least 15% of your income into an SIP on the first day of the month. Not after expenses, before expenses. This is called paying yourself first, and it is the single most powerful personal finance habit in existence. If you earn 50,000 rupees, that's 7,500 rupees a month. In 20 years at 12% CAGR, that single habit builds 75 lakh rupees without you doing anything except not cancelling the SIP. Step 3. Have a why am I buying this rule for anything over 5,000 rupees. Before any purchase over 5,000 rupees, you ask yourself, am I buying this because I actually want or need it, or am I buying it because of how it'll make me look? Be honest. If the honest answer is for how it makes me look, close the tab. Sleep on it for 48 hours, see if you still want it. You'll be stunned by how often you don't. Step 4. Find your people. This is underrated. Your social circle has an enormous influence on your spending. If your friends are competing on lifestyle, you will spend more money on lifestyle. If your friends talk about SIPs, they read books about investing, they're excited about reaching financial milestones, you will too. Find your Priya energy and protect it. Let me leave you with this. I want you to imagine 2 WhatsApp groups. One is Aryan's friends from college, all 35 now. The chat is full of birthday dinner plans at expensive restaurants, people complaining about rising EMIs, the occasional anyone knows a good loan to consolidate debt message. The other is Priya's group, same age, and someone just casually dropped, hit 50 lakh rupees in my portfolio today. Felt weird to not tell someone. And everyone's sharing milestones. Someone bought a house with savings, not just a loan. Someone took a year off to travel without going into debt. These are 2 different lives, 2 different relationships with money, 2 different versions of freedom at 35. And the difference between them was not luck, it was not income, it was not intelligence. It was a set of choices made in their 20s, mostly invisible to the outside world at the time. that compounded into completely different realities. The best time to start was 5 years ago. The second best time is right now. Set up that SIP today, not tomorrow, not when you get your next hike, today. Your 40-year-old self is watching. Make them proud. If this video helped you think differently about money, please hit that subscribe button. I am going to be making a lot more content like this. Real numbers, real psychology, stuff nobody talks about in polite company. Drop a comment below and tell me which one are you right now, Aryan or Priya? No judgment, honest answers only. I'll see you in the next one.